Hello, good morning everyone. This is Shagun of Standard 7th A from Jaipuria Vidyalaya School. Today we are going to discuss about our history chapter tracing changes through thousands of years. Now on the screen you can see our map 1. This map was made in 1154 CE by the Arab geographer Al-Idrasi. In this map the places names are marked in the Arabic language. As in this map you can see that where today we accept North India, here is the South India and Sri Lanka island is at the top. And this is the map number 2. It was made by a French cartographer in 1720. This map seems more familiar to us and the coastal areas in particularly are surprisingly detailed. This map was used by European sailors and merchants on their voyages. It means that this maps was used by the ships to navigate their ships by the people. And so it equally important is the fact that the signs of the map were differed in the two periods. Now, what is the sense of foreigner word in the past? A simple term foreigner is today used to mean someone who is not an Indian. But in the medieval period, a foreigner was any stranger who was not a part of their society or culture. In Hindi language, we can say Pardesi, and in Persian, we can say Ajnabi, might be used to describe such a person. A city dweller therefore might have regarded a forest dweller as a foreigner. So it means that today, if anyone is not to native's country, we may call him a foreigner. But earlier, the one who was not a part of their society or culture was known as foreigner. Now our next is historians and their sources. Historians use different types of sources to learn about the past depending upon the period of their study and the nature of their investigation. They still rely on coins, inscriptions, architecture and textual records for information. This line means that they still dug up the ground and find the coins, inscriptions means manuscripts and other records, and architecture means the structure of any temple, structure of any houses, and textual records like the records of texts, records of rulers, etc. So these were the some sources that were used by the rulers, by the historians. Through this period, paper became cheaper and more widely available. People used it to write holy text, chronicles of rulers, letters, teachings of saints, petitions and judicial records, and for registration of accounts and taxes. Manuscripts were collected by wealthy people, rulers, monasteries and temples, and they were placed in libraries and archives. These manuscripts and documents provide a lot of detailed information to historians, but they are also difficult to use. Now the main question is why they are difficult to use. So here you can see, as there were no printing presses in those days, so scribes copied manuscripts by hand. As a result, there were small but significant differences while copying manuscripts. As scribes copied manuscript, they introduced small changes, a word here, a sentence there. These small differences grew over centuries of copying until manuscripts of the small text become sustainably different from one another. This is a serious problem because today we rarely find the original manuscript of the author. So in the picture you can see there is a one scribe who is copying the manuscripts. Now see, this is the original one and what he has copied. So these are the some small changes. Now you can take one example, that is, when you are absent on any day and you copy the homework from your friend's copy, you may introduce some small changes. So manuscripts are as well as that. Now the next is new social and political groups. At different moments in the period, new technologies make their appearance. The Parisian wheel for irrigation, the spinning wheels for weaving. Third, firearms in the combat. Combat means, it means wars. New food items and beverages arrived in the subcontinent like potatoes, chilies, tea, coffee and corn. So what were the foods and beverages? Tea, coffee, chilies, corn and potatoes. Remember that these innovations, new techniques and crop came along with the people who brought other ideas with them as well. One of the most important group that was in this period was Rajputs, a name derived from Rajputra. Rajputra meanings the son of the ruler. So it is a very common thing that the son of the ruler means Rajputs were the king. And here is also written, between the 8th and 14th century, the term was applied more generally to a group of warriors who claimed Kshatriya's caste status. The term included not just rulers and chieftains, but also soldiers and commanders who served in the armies of different monarchs all over the subcontinent. It means that not only rulers and chieftains, but Rajputs were also state as the commanders and soldiers who served in the armies. Now the other point is, other groups of people such as Marathas, Sikh, Jat, Ahoms and Kayast also used the opportunities of the age to become politically important. So this basically means in this we learned 3 points. First was new technologies, and as you can see the Persian wheel there. Second were the new food and beverages, and the third was Rajputs, Maratha, Sikh, Jat, Ahoms and Kayas use opportunities to become socially important. Now next is jatis and subcastes. As society become more differentiated, people were grouped into jatis or subcastes and ranked on the basis of their backgrounds and their occupations. Ranks were not fixed permanently and varied according to the power, influence and resources controlled by the members of the jati. Jatis form their own rules and regulations to manage the conduct of their members. These rules and regulations were enforced by an assembly of elders described in small areas as Jati Panchayat, but jatis were also required to follow the rules of their villages. So it basically means that there were so many varied people, so they have to be divided into jatis and subjatis, and each jati and subjatis have made their own rules and regulations. Now who will ensure that all the jatis are following the rules and who are not? So that's why every village at that time was having the Jati Panchayat, and if anyone did not follow the rules of the Jati Panchayat, so they would have punishment, and it may be that they have to leave their jati. Now the next is changing in the religions. People believe in the divine was something deeply personal, but more usually it was collective. It was during this period that important change occurred in what we call Hindustan today. These included the worship of new deities, the construction of temples by royalty, and the growing importance of Brahmins, the priests, as dominant group in society. The knowledge about Sanskrit text of Brahmin earned a lot of respect in society. One of the major development of this period was the emergence of the idea of bhakti. Now till here we can understand that earlier there were only 1 or 2 deities, but in this medieval period 33 crore deities were introduced, and earlier temples were not that much important, but in this period this grew. The temples construction was by royalty. And why did the Brahmins grew an important dominant of the society? Because they knew the Sanskrit text. Any other except Brahmins and priests do not know Sanskrit text. That's why they gained a lot of respect in the society, and bhakti was introduced. Now what is bhakti? Bhakti is a loving, personal deity that devotees could reach without the aid of priest or elaborate rituals. Earlier it happened that if you want to do any worship, you have to call Brahmins, priests in your homes. Without Brahmins and priests you can't do worship. But bhakti was introduced. In bhakti you can worship your personal deities, and without the aid of priest and any rituals and any Brahmin. One another important thing was when merchants and migrants first brought the techniques of the Holy Quran to India in the 7th century. Muslims regarded the Quran as their holy book and accept the sovereignty of the one God, Allah, who love, mercy and bounty embrace all those who believe in Him without regard to social backgrounds. Now some merchants and migrants from the subcontinent came to India and they introduced the Quran. Then Muslim people accepted the holy book as Quran, and all of them said that Allah is the one who love all, who mercy to all, and bounty embrace all those. Means Allah do not describe anyone according to their social backgrounds, according to their jatis. Allah love all. And the next is dividing history into periods. In the middle of the 19th century, British historians divided the history of India into three periods: Hindu, Muslim, and British. Now, on what basis this was divided? This was divided like in Hindu period, only Hindus were the ruler. In Muslim, only Muslim were the rulers, and in British period, only British were the ruler. But it was wrong in some ways. Like in Hindu period, there were some Muslim rulers also. In Muslim, there were some Hindu rulers also. This division was based on the idea of that religion of the ruler was the only important historical change, and that there were no other significant developments in the economic, society, or culture. So this was divided only on the change of the jatis, like first Hindu rulers only, then Muslim rulers, then only British ruler. It does not show any social change, it do not shows any economic change, so this was not accepted. Then such a division was ignored the rich diversity of the subcontinent. It also ignored the rich diversity of the subcontinent. Then the historians divided the past into ancient, medieval, and modern. Then the Hindu was replaced by ancient period, Muslim term was replaced by medieval period, and British term was replaced by the modern. Now the next, let's have a quick recap. The science of the cartography differed in the two periods, as I told. First was by the Al-Idrasi, and it was made in 1154 CE, and the second one was made by a French cartographer. It was made in 1750s. Okay. Now second point is historians have to be very careful about what term they use, because it may mean anything in the past. Now historians have to be very careful, this is right, because like foreigner, it is differed, and Parisian, how was it different? Because medieval Parisian and modern Parisian. The medieval Parisian and modern Parisian are not different on the basis of grammar and vocabulary. The words of the meaning also changed, and same as Hindustan. Now historians still rely on coins, inscriptions, architecture, and textual records for information. Next is paper become more common and cheaper, and people used to write textual records, etc. And the next point is manuscripts were placed in the libraries and archives. Now next is manuscripts are very helpful but also difficult to handle. And why they are difficult to handle? Because there were small changes introduced, and new techniques took place like Persian wheel, spinning wheel, and firearms in the combat. So these were the new changes, and new food and beverages were introduced, and Rajput, Maratha, Sikh, Jat, Ahoms, and Kayast used opportunities to become politically important. So these were some of who used the opportunities to become politically important. Next is Jati Panchayat was introduced, and Jati formed their own rules and regulations. In medieval period only Jati Panchayat was introduced, and Jatis formed their own rules and regulations, and if anyone do not follow the Jati rules and regulations, he or she have to leave that Jati. New deities were introduced, Brahman value increased in the society, and Bhakti was introduced. Next is Muslim regard the Quran as their holy book. All the Muslims regard the Quran as their holy book, and Allah was the only one God for them. Now British divided the past into Hindu, Muslim, and British, but it was not accepted by. Then historians divided the past into ancient, medieval, and modern period. Now I think everything is clear in this chapter, and there will be no doubts and queries. Thank you.